Today I'm going to be taking a look at leftist moral superiority. Leftists claim that they are for tolerance, love, compassion, liberation, equality. Imagine a giant, sunny, flowery, smiling rainbow behind all of those words, with the whole planet holding hands and celebrating and listening to like disco music and folk music, and eating organic pineapples, and that's what that's the image the left has of themselves, and that they portray to the world through media, and that is sort of like their guiding mythology or idea of themselves. Now I'm going to actually go ahead and say that this religion, this sort of superstitious way of seeing things, is false. The left are actually Nazis. They actually act like fascists in practice. I'm not talking about all of them, but the real left, the real heart of the left, are Nazis. There's absolutely no room for interpretation at this point. There's enough evidence that we've seen that anti-sjw and even just your average feminist professor or student, true believers, these people are violent, they are bullies, they are willing to intimidate and threaten other people and attempt to destroy people's lives. They're Nazis. They're not. This image of the rainbow society is it's a complete fiction. It's a complete it's a lie, essentially. It's a Marxist utilitarian lie, or utopian lie, excuse me. And this is the actual fact. This is a fact. So I know this because I've been bullied myself, and I've seen other people being intimidated and bullied by leftists. And I know that leftists are willing to use violence, and they think that they're justified in doing so against people who make good arguments against them. For instance, one time I made the argument that men commit suicide in higher rates than women. Well, even saying this, suddenly these beautiful, utopian, loving leftists, these tolerant, anti-racist, anti-sexist leftists, just saying a fact that they don't agree with, since they think they're so morally superior, that now they can be violent, now they can start bullying you, attacking you, trying to destroy your life, etc. So remember, that's the real left. That's the heart of what the left is. That's how the left exists, as it does, as a cultural superpower. It exists through the use of intimidation, bullying, and violence. Without those things, there is no modern-day left, because the arguments of the opposing side are compelling, and the left would not be able to maintain its aura of legitimacy and truthiness, or whatever. So yeah, I think that since the left are Nazis, it's really important to make sure that we don't allow them that sense of moral superiority anymore. We don't allow them to feel that sense. We need to remind them at every given opportunity that they're Nazis, that they're bullies, and they don't get to feel that way anymore. You don't get to simultaneously be a Nazi bully and be a saint, a tolerant saint. You don't get to do both things. You need to remember who you really are. You're a violent thug. You're a violent bully. You're a violent, hateful Nazi bully. And you are not morally superior to anybody on earth. You're just as much of a shitheel as, these white supremacist people. You're just as much of a shitheel as, your David Duke, your average right-wing Nazi. You're the same shit. You're the same trash. And you should remember that every day of your life. And these feminists, they're the same. Just because you're a woman doesn't mean that you can't hurt people and that you can't be a bully. Look what they tried to do to Kavanaugh, to anybody who is on their other side. They think they're justified in doing anything, any kind of lie to destroy that person, any kind of tactic. So no, they're just the same. They're Nazis too. They just use different tactics. Since violence is not really as much of an option for women, they use different tactics. lies, using their, the biases of society, etc. So yeah, just remember that they're not morally superior. Probably never really have been. I think it's a very carefully crafted illusion. The human mind is very primitive, so we tend to believe in these rainbow hand-holding things when they're presented to us, because usually they're presented in a setting where you don't see the violence. They hide the violence. The violence is hidden. The bullying is hidden away. The intimidation, the hatred, the murder, all that stuff is hidden. It's not shown. So when you see, at your office, when there's like, Rainbow Day or something, they don't show what's really going on in the leftist culture war itself. They don't show, the censorship that's taking place. The censorship, man. The left is the most censorious fucking shit since the Nazis, dog. They are more censorship than the Nazis, I'd say. They're just the same. They are the same exact thing. Period. So look what they're doing. Look what they did to Alex Jones. His shit's gone. So you can't find it on anything, and they celebrate that. Look at what Stephen Colbert says. This is the mainstream. This is the normal left. They actually applaud it. They laugh about it. Think about that. That's Nazi behavior, as far as I'm concerned. Laughing at somebody being censored. That's Nazi behavior. That's the lowest form of evil that exists. And people, they try to normalize this. That's what the Nazis did. When they had power, they normalized authoritarian behavior. These are scummy, lowest common denominator of humanity behaviors. So don't let them pretend to be morally superior. When you see Bono and Taylor Swift signaling how virtuous they are, just remember, they are pro-censorship. They believe and they laugh about people being censored who make arguments that they can't refute. And they believe that they endorse that. They endorse violence. They endorse bullying. So when you see, Bono with his glasses talking about how tolerant he is and loving he is, always having the image of your mind a violent, screaming mob of people trying to lynch somebody wearing a Trump hat, or get somebody fired from their job, or censor somebody, celebrating censorship and attempting to censor somebody. Have those people in your mind every time you think of Bono or Taylor Swift or anybody virtue signaling. Always remember the truth behind the curtain. Every time you see somebody making a leftist argument, see the violent thugs, the violent mobs, see the screaming feminists, see the false rape accusations, see the censorship, the widespread censorship. See Stephen Colbert in the mainstream media lying and slandering and celebrating censorship, refusing to report on violence. Remember every single fucking one of those things in your mind and in your heart. Alright, that's all I have to say.